Morning again. We're going to see how this goes because we've started this new habit, or rather we've restarted an old habit, and we're doing a Spelunky morning chat, one play before work, to see how it goes. So Gamescom kicked off again. It's a bit weird now that I'm not directly working in the games industry. Now I'm working in software. Specifically I'm at Adobe, if you don't know, these days. But it's a bit strange to me, switching it up, being a different place, and missing an event such as Gamescom. I haven't gone to Gamescom much because, well, it's a business deal event, and I went a few times mostly to give talks at GDC Europe before it was discontinued, because GDC Europe used to happen prior to Gamescom in Germany. Not a huge fan of travelling to Gamescom, I'll admit. But a lot of people who go to Gamescom don't realise there's actually two Gamescoms. There's the public-facing one, but then there's an entirely separate one that takes up maybe not the same amount of space, but pretty close to the same amount of space. And that is, where all the business deals happen. And if you're a European developer, even if you're a US developer, but for European developers certainly, it's the main venue to sign work-for-hire contracts and to pitch to publishers. And it's one of those events where traditionally you can get a signature and you can close a deal, which is obviously like one of the hardest parts of the entire process. So it gets a lot of attention from the games industry for these reasons. But I didn't like the venue. Typically I was put up by the hotel right next to the venue because I was usually a speaker, or I was going on Sony's dime. So it was very convenient. It's actually, funnily enough, the first time I met Palmer Luckey back in the early days of Oculus was at a Gamescom event. This was before the Facebook buyout, and I think he had just been on a magazine cover or something, I can't recall, but he had started to become relatively well known. But I distinctly remember just chatting to him briefly at breakfast in the hotel, in his classic Hawaiian shirt getup that he would run around. I remember the thing that struck me at the time was, oh my god, this guy is so young. I think that was the first time I felt a little bit old in the industry. Crazy to say now, because at the time I was in my mid-20s, I think. Maybe late 20s. Probably late 20s. I find trouble sometimes like placing my age in memory, because if it happened after I'm 25, then I'm always 25, right? No, it's I'm aging. Maybe not gracefully, but I am aging. I try, and I definitely try to keep an open mind about things. But I do remember thinking that was the first time I thought that an important, oh man, I just edged there. The first time I thought like an important figure or studio director or CEO or anyone was just young. Since then it's happened to me a few more times, just because. Okay, we're gonna do one more run because that's just brutal. I'm sorry, that's just not on. That's what I get for not warming up, huh? I do love Spelunky though. It's a wonderful format for this kind of stuff, and I do want to give this at least a few days of trying on my channel to see how it reacts. It doesn't have to be the most successful thing, but if it's a nice habit and it's fun, if you this far in the video, let me know, and let me know if you're watching this out of sheer curiosity, or if you'd like to see me stick to the format really, because yeah, it's good to know. It's good to know. But yeah, Gamescom, it has the feel of a large convention in that it feels sterile, for want of a better word. I think my favourite events by far to attend are the events that are single track, smaller in scope, and have a little bit more character. Console in Norway, big shout out to Console. It's still one of my favourite game developer conferences to go to. That's why I love doing BAFTA events in London as well, because they're nice small scale events, a bit more personal. I have a fond memory of getting in trouble with the creator of Final Fantasy. I forget his name. He was giving a talk at a BAFTA event years ago. This is after he left the franchise, and I think it was just after he had published his first RPG that wasn't Final Fantasy. Can I forget the name? And just so happened to be the person I was with knew him because she was a writer on Final Fantasy X. And yeah, it was a fun memory, hanging out after. Oh no, doggy took too much damage. Must have taken an arrow from the nope. Must have taken an arrow from the trap. But yeah, there's fun memories there. And hop-de hop. Tree health. Turkey. But yeah, I like the BAFTA events and their scale and their size. I missed them during COVID, so I should go back to some now that they're on again. As I say, it feels a bit strange because I'm still in the games industry. I'm just ancillary to it. But it's no longer how I pay my wage. I supply tools for the games industry and others now. So that's an interesting shift that in my head I'm still working through, to be honest. 15 years of making games. Kind of stains you. I don't mean that in like a negative word. I don't know why I use such a... Really? Third time's a charm. Don't know why I use such a controversial phrase, stain. But yeah, really leaves its mark on you. So, it's what it is. Come through there. Oh, I think that is the universal signal to me that today's stream is just what it is, and I should have ended after the first one. It's kind of the magic, really, ending after the first one, but hey, it just felt a little bit too short. No. Well, we'll get there. But yeah. No, it's the games industry. Yeah. I miss it. I do miss it. No two ways about it. Don't miss the work. I miss the people. I mean, I do miss the work. Like, I miss making games, but I don't miss it being my job, if that makes sense. Like, I really like my job now. Even though, God, I had the worst bout of tummy ache yesterday after meeting an old games industry friend and grabbing lunch at a ramen place. I don't know if it's because of the food at the ramen place or if it's because I have been on a diet and I haven't been eating as much and the food was a bit rich. I have no idea. Could be either of those things. But needless to say, I had to stop work yesterday because of an upset tummy, which is not great. I'm gonna sacrifice you actually. Normally I would bomb for the health because it's more direct, and I think it's only like one sacrifice point for that, but go for the Kali points. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I do think I don't want to make too many promises because I'm so swamped with stuff at the moment. Like, trying to find the time to do anything just feels like an absolute mission, really. I could go back for it. 2 minutes 30. I've only got 2 ropes though. Never mind. Yeah, I really want to do Lundare and just knock something out. Motherfucker. Can I recover? No, can't recover. Be nice. But yeah, have been very, very busy. Anyway, wrap it there.